your notes, which I love, by the way.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but...
Oh, boys. Boys. Yeah, we're coming at you live, everybody. We are coming at you live. Look, thank you for that introduction, Bill. And you were right. We're going to do it live. We're doing it live. So, welcome to the first ever TIGS BITS live stream. And, man, are we pumped to be doing this. You guys are going to get a firsthand look into the window and kind of see how the sausage is made. We have JR, the handler, with us. We have Chad Blossy, the one-man posse, coming to us from Brewery in Hammock Bay in Freeport, Florida. And since this is our first live stream of the show, we're not expecting a huge crowd. But as we can see, there's already several people in here. So welcome, everybody. Crazy, didn't expect to see this many people in here this time of day. But look, we're going to be watching the chat. If you guys want to comment about anything that we're talking about, we'll chime in. We want to make this an interactive place and start doing this a lot more often in 2024. So today is our soft open, if you will. But just like everything else we do with the show, we decided to push this bad boy to the limits a little bit and put one of us in a remote position. So boys, welcome. This is going to be a lot of fun. Freaking jacked. Blasey, tell us more about where you're at today at Props.
Oh, dude, this is awesome. So, yeah, I'm actually here not too far from the house at Props Brewery in Hammock Bay, Florida, which is in Freeport. And so they've got a brewery that they opened up less than a year ago. I want to, first of all, just thank the GM, Joe, for letting me come up here, the owner, Nate, who's here today as well. They were super excited to have us here to come out to do this remote, to do this live podcast. And we're going to be doing this again, in the future. This is kind of just getting things set up. But this place is phenomenal, dude. They've got a great selection of beer here. They've got dedicated food trucks out here that they have. Like you can get, burgers and sandwiches and they have another food truck, which is a taco truck. Then they rotate other food trucks throughout the week. Always entertainment here, bands, music. Tonight's trivia night. I'll be parlaying this show, I think, right into trivia night.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Nice.
Dude, this place is awesome. We'll get back into some of the beer stuff later on in this show. But, man, first of all, just thanks to these guys here for letting me come here to this beautiful, beautiful location here.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, it looks killer.
Handler, welcome back, brother. It's been hard to catch you here lately. How you been doing, man?
I'm good, man. Yeah, had a few shows lately on the road. Had to be gone. Hate I miss any time when you guys are doing stuff. And then was a little under the weather last week, but definitely glad to be back. Wish I was in a cooler setting as Blasey's in today. Normally my studio's pretty pimp, but he's got the sweet spot today. I got to go all the way around to the garage fridge for a beer. He's got a waitress. Come on.
That's exactly right. That's
or waiter.
Exactly right.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh, man. And he's already got an ice cold one in his hand. I mean, things are looking up for Blasey today. There's no doubt about that.
Got his AM 50 push-ups in, so he'll look good and toit in his TIGS BITS shirt. He's
right.
rocking it. He's rocking it.
He is. I love it.
Absolutely
Absolutely brought his A game today, and that's what we expect to happen with Blossy, the one-man posse. When we go live, I figured he would show up and he would show out, and so far so good.
That's
yeah,
it.
oh yeah. I know all of y'all out there listening and watching this right now have come to learn about the nervous tick of Blasey, and this is as good of a time as any. We've talked about it in the past that JR had known Blasey. They go back, they're frat buddies, all that good stuff. This didn't just start whenever I first met Blasey in like 2007 or 8, somewhere at 6, somewhere in there. No, apparently this has been going on for a while, huh, Handler?
Yeah. Oh, as long as I've known him, when it's getting time to do something, especially get to talking about something he's interested in and gets excited about it, it just gets.
No, it always comes from a positive place. That
right.
is positive energy. That's positive.
Yeah, right.
That's
and
good stuff.
if you go back and listen to earlier episodes of the TIGS Bits podcast, we actually went into it for a minute, and I always thought he was conjuring up one of those big blue energy balls like that Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter 2 used to shoot as with up down BA. So I'm just glad I never got hit by one, because usually he would do that though, and he would grab the golf club and he's working on his drive or his chip
Just
or
parlay
whatever
that
he
right into
wants.
a golf swing. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, look, I've got to acknowledge we have some folks in the chat. I want to acknowledge those guys before we kind of start to dive into the show. So happy to have all of y'all in here. John Melvin Miller, I know who that is. It's my best friend from Florine. He is present and accounted for, so thanks for being in here, Johnny. We have Mr. Paul Rogers, one of our favorite dudes that we interact with all the time.
My brother.
On X. What a dude.
I like Paul.
Absolutely.
I like Paul.
Thanks for coming, Paul. I mean,
Yes.
I knew of anybody, if I had a feeling that we would not go alone today, that we would at least have an audience of somebody in here, and I knew that we could count on Paul. I knew Paul would be the one person at least
100%.
for us, so thanks for coming, Paul. We have our boy Jason Hilton, another dude from Florine, where I'm from. We play baseball together, man. Huge fan of the show. He shares our stuff all the time. Thanks for coming, Jason. And look, all y'all that are listening, share this on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever it is that you're watching this stream. It helps us. We're trying to grow this channel. We want to keep doing this more and more, and we want to start doing this more and more. Where we come in, we record a show, record our normal podcast, but make it a little more interactive and start to talk to you guys. So just so pumped to have all of y'all here. Hilton loves your shirt, Lacey.
Oh, appreciate
and if
it,
you guys
Jason. Yeah,
would
I see
love,
that.
if you would like to get one of those shirts, we have multiple colors all across, mainly at this point, the SEC, but we will work into more colors. Something will probably fit for you. You can go over to tigsbits.com.
Silver to me. I'm not so sure. That looks more like a Trojan color. So I think
that
that's
is
the Sun Belt.
absolutely
Yeah,
designed with the Trojan colors in mind by yours truly. And we're going to have some new designs and new things coming out in 2024. Stuff you are hearing exclusively here today in our live stream. We'll go over some more of those things as we get going. My buddy Shane Wallace, dude, sales. If y'all, I think we've maybe talked a little bit at one time at some point in this podcast about sailing briefly. He has a boat in Pensacola, sails. He's my neighbor, so
very cool.
I saw him earlier today. Reminded him I needed him in here, and I don't know what the Sting music is, but I love it. So whatever, just a typical Shane reference there.
Sailor, my ex-brother-in-law was a sailor, and he had a boat in Pensacola, and that's actually the only time I've really been on a really nice sailboat was in Pensacola out of Sabine right there going out. It was so cool. And we did it at night, dude. That's a pretty cool feeling. I get it,
bet.
so anyway.
It
that's
is.
Awesome. Thanks
It
for
I don't think I've ever been on a nice sailboat. I took sailing in college as an elective class. True story. Me and AJ Bartall, and I remember because one year it was the we were on social probation or something, and we used the excuse, didn't want to tell everybody why we couldn't come to the party. We used the excuse we had to go to our sailing final down at Lake Eufaula, which was interesting. You can imagine a sailboat final on Lake Eufaula with 10 people from Troy State in 1999.
Oh, sounds like a blast.
We made the best
never
of it. You can
knew
imagine
that existed. I never heard of that in my life.
If there was an elective at Troy when I between 98 and 02, I took it. I promise you.
We've got the Bubba Army.
Bubba Army.
Bubba Army is checking in. Not a shocker there, Blasey, at all. Man, we love the Bubba Army.
No doubt.
Speaking of Bubba Army, Blasey, what's some of the latest news and happenings going around Bubba that
Oh,
we
dude,
may not know
Bubba
that.
got some, so recently Bubba hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And then I think it was on Monday, he unveiled what he got from YouTube, which is that silver play button, signifying and recognizing the fact that you have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Dude, he was so happy. That made him so
that's cool.
proud, man. I know that was a big accomplishment for him. Trying to get there was just like such a grind, especially at the end, trying to get those last few numbers. So congratulations to Bubba.
Absolutely,
Bubba Army.
congratulations.
I'll support him on that. So that's super cool. Hopefully one day we'll be having that same conversation very soon. Talking about our silver.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
We've got a little ways to go, but we need y'all out there to help us. We can get
Absolutely.
there. There's no
Absolutely.
doubt in my mind that we can get there.
Absolutely.
We've got a good nucleus, man,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I know exactly what you're talking about because I actually have seen one and was actually given one, but I don't have it because Justin's kids end up with it. They're playing with it. It's a funny story, but of all the stuff he's ever gotten, the kids love the YouTube thing. That's the only all the crap he brings off the bus. So one day the bus drivers are trying to get stuff off the bus, and the two older girls see the two YouTube silver big. I mean, they're cool. It's all framed and all that, and see those. So they both want those. So Justin's like, sure, whatever. They've never wanted anything, so they take those. But one of them, Cody, our manager, had already gave it to me. So one of my goddaughters has mine. But one day I'll get it back, and we'll have one in here too. But hopefully we'll get ours for this show before then.
Heck yeah.
That's
cool,
right.
though.
That's right. Well, look, I mean, that makes Daddy cool. He ain't Justin Moore.
Well, that's what he said. That's
the
the only
kids,
thing. I mean, all the plaques and awards, that's the only one that they've ever even paid any attention to, and they wanted to put him in their room or in the living room. It was unique, but one of them was mine. I'll get it back at some point. Hey, I see talking about boats, the Coastie Mater, Roll Tide Mater.
Yeah, look.
That's one of our U.S. Coast Guard's finest. He's been Coast Guard, lifelong Coast Guard guy. I saw Mater last time. He's a friend of mine from high school. He was a few years younger than me. We played football together. He knows all the shenanigans I grew up doing and all the people I talk about from back home. And last time I saw Mater and got to hang out extensively, I believe, when he was stationed in Juneau, Alaska, and we played a show in Anchorage. He and his wife came up and to the show and spent a few days, and we got to hang out and catch up. And then he was stationed in Virginia. I saw him in a show there, and I believe he's in Northern California again now. He's life Coast Guard guy. He's ranked and all that good stuff. Very proud of my brother.
Awesome.
Tim Daltrey was Mama called him, but we all call him Materhead. You got to have a nickname if you're from Eclectic. That's just how it is.
That's right.
Absolutely,
You really do. You really do. Look, we have J.D. Marsh joining us. Our good buddy J.D. Marsh with Breggy Bomb, and holy cow, yeah, we're definitely going to have you on here soon, J.D. We just actually was thinking about that today. He wants to know if we have that shirt in Aggie. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we
yes,
do.
We
Hey,
do. There is
if I
a
had
version of it.
Absolutely.
And if there's anything I've mentioned on here that I can stand behind 1,000% is that the brush dust from Breggy
so
Bomb.
good.
I use that.
Man.
Charisse did a whole chicken with nothing but that on it and a Dutch oven in the oven during Thanksgiving. That was the most liked thing at our Thanksgiving week we had here.
Dude, it's so amazing. It really is. Y'all need to check it out. Get some brush dust. That alone, they're all good. Every season that they have, they have a new one that's just come out. It's called Brisky Business.
Nice.
What a great name for a brisket rub. Brisky
great
Business.
name. Great name.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Smart.
Love it. I need some of that too, JD. We could all probably use some of that over here at TIGS Bits, but while we're doing it, why not?
And I'm actually running low on brush dust. Just to
Yeah,
make-
swamp
just to
sauce.
throw that
It's
out. Dude, it's
swamp
so
sauce
versatile.
too. While we're at it.
You can use it on everything. It's the most unique seasoning out there that I've
It
ever
is.
got my
It
hands
is,
on.
man. I put it on fish. It is amazing
so
on
good on
fish.
fish.
It's amazing on chicken.
Eggs.
It's amazing on everything. It gets a little thrown off by some folks or a little, what is it? The turmeric? What is
Yep.
it? Is
Yeah.
that what it's called? That's
Turmeric.
yellow.
Turmeric,
So you
yep.
see that and you're like, that's not gonna work. Oh no. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's not
Yes,
curry.
yes, it does. It's
you'll
not
love
curry.
it. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, man. I'm so happy
I
that JD.
I tell people it
joined
reminds
us.
me almost of like the best bowl of ramen noodle you ever had growing up. It's like that
is.
flavor almost. It's got that
It
kind
is.
of chicken ramen something. I don't know, just the right amount of salt and sweet and not sweet, but I don't know. It's perfect. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's just absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, look, y'all keep on commenting. We'll keep reading those as we go, but just had to jump in. Welcome, everybody. So glad that y'all are joining us, talking, having fun in the chat. That's what we want to see. It's
Absolutely,
that
it is.
that is
Appreciate y'all.
exactly what we want to
Means
see.
a lot.
So let's kind of jump into some of the show that we were going to talk about today, and we'll start with JR and some tales from the road.
Oh, wow.
That's just he's been traveling. We haven't really had a chance to check in on that in a little bit. So we've got a fancy graphic now, so we might as well use it. Give us some tales from the road, JR. What's been happening over the last couple of months?
Oh, man. We wrapped up the year. We did a tour with Priscilla Block. She was on tour with us most of the year. Her and Justin had a big song last year, You, Me, and Whiskey, which went #1. So we did a lot of shows supporting that and on the tour. But we've been kind of winding down. Usually by this time of the year, we only do a handful of shows and then take a break through the holidays. So we had a one-off this past weekend in Las Vegas for the NFR Rodeo Finals. National Finals Rodeo was in town. That's a 2-week long. Everybody's there. It's a huge deal. Every night, every venue, there's somebody playing, from the biggest acts to new artists to legends to, it was just incredible. And Vegas is expanded even in the last few years since I've been there. It's just insane. So it was really neat. We got to go. We stayed at the newest resort hotel on the Strip, Hilton's Resorts World, which was built in 2021. And it was really nice, super cool. A little chilly while we were out there, but had a great show. Just did a one-off. Sharice went with me. We went a few days early, stayed a few days after. Went to the Sphere while we were there. Incredible.
Oh, man.
If you
Tell
go
us about that. That is – I've got to see a concert in there. I don't know if y'all saw. Of course, U2 has been
right.
playing there. They scheduled a Fish 4-night run
Fish,
for Fish.
yeah.
Not a huge Fish guy.
But don't you know? Oh, my God.
Oh, man. What a venue to see that
my
band
God.
at. I could be a Fish guy for
Yeah,
4
oh, yeah.
days straight.
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell y'all, that screen, that thing is as incredible as anything you've ever seen. You can't conceive it. Like a big IMAX, the first time you went to the nice IMAX in New Orleans or somewhere, back in the day when that was such a big game changer. This is that, the 2.0. This is even more so. It's like the closest thing I can equate it to was when you walk up to the Grand Canyon. If you've been to the Grand Canyon, if you walk up to the edge of the Grand Canyon, you can't see it all. You're just overwhelmed. You're like, oh my God. Yeah, you can't look at it all. You're like, you can't expand your eyes out to get it all because it's too much. And there's not many things that are that so hard to take in. It's like a sunset. Right. You can catch the good part of the sunset, but anyway. So this is like that. So there's probably 12,000 seat venue. I think it is. They had some of the seats on the sides empty. Probably 8,000 or 10,000 people when we were there. Felt like a concert atmosphere. In the lobby waiting to go in. They've got robots out there talking to people and stuff that are just AI robots. Yeah, interacting with people, non-prompted, talking back and forth to you. Oh, yeah.
Having a conversation.
Oh, yeah. Meeting
robots.
people. Robots. Meeting people. How much do you cost? I cost $550,000. How much does your watch cost? But it's not that grainy either. It was really impressive. Like it was,
it didn't
was
talk
wild.
like a robot, or did it have an
AI
kind of voice?
Barely. It was right there with Ex Machina. It was almost there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I stepped back and I didn't want to look it in the eyes. I wasn't catching eyes with it. You know what I mean?
I've
seen
like
that
a
movie.
person.
No, it was the exoskeleton, but it was not Terminator. Metal rods. It was more contoured like a female figure, like the Ex Machina, basically. And the face, not completely like a human, but not as robotic as you would think. Kind of a hybrid thing.
I think I saw,
but life size,
something very similar like that at like a Padres game or something during the baseball season. I saw some TikTok or something,
right?
Where they had video, and it's like people were a little freaked out. They were like
Yeah.
sitting in the stands and they stood up or something. I don't know. And they,
Yeah,
but
this
they
thing
were
was
human-like, but you could tell they
Right.
weren't a human.
Right. This thing was getting people, you want to take a selfie? Take a selfie. Oh, how are you with him? I mean, just having a conversation with whoever it picked up. And it wasn't being prompted. There was nobody controlling it. It was a little wild.
That's
And they had about
crazy
6
wild.
of them through there. But it was busy. And then you go up, and the outside the place is crazy enough looking. You know, it's this huge ball that is
Yeah.
a TV screen. It can do whatever it wants on the outside. And then you go in, and you got to go. We had to go way up to the 4th floor. It's pricey. I mean, I be all transparency. I paid around $400 for a pair of tickets to this thing, and I did not. I had tiered down seats, you know,
Wow.
but there's not a bad seat in the house, so it didn't matter.
They got to pay for all those boards somehow.
Oh my gosh,
it's a
but
lot
man,
of them.
Yeah, you get in, and the show starts, and we went and saw the show Postcard Earth or Postcard from Earth, which is like an hour-long video. And it starts off, it looks like a movie screen, and then then it expands out of that and out of that. Next
Oh,
thing you
yeah.
know, you're like, oh, I'll send y'all the videos, but the videos still don't do it justice. You can't
Right,
catch it, you
right.
can't see
crazy.
it all, but you're going through different all the terrains and textures of the earth all throughout history, seas, all that, and I'm talking about on a scale. It's too hard to
crazy,
imagine.
man.
And I was wondering about the concert thing because I thought it was almost too much. Like you could get sensory overload for sure. Because
Yeah.
at certain points, it felt more like VR because you almost felt like no one was around you. You felt like you were by yourself.
Did
And
you
it
get
was-
motion sickness?
No, because they had wind blowing at you, and like if you were going over a mountain, the wind would pick up and get cooler, and if you're going through the desert, it'd get warmer, and then like your seat rumbles, and like when the rockets take off, yeah, it was full.
It's like a 12,000 seat Disney ride.
Basically, yeah,
Like
that's
Soar.
that's what everybody compared it to. That's what the few
Okay.
people there had started comparing it to that. But they said even more impressive.
It's more intense than soaring
Yeah,
there.
newer.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I've
because
done
of the-
soaring, so I'm
Yeah.
getting it a little bit now. Okay.
Because the screen is so big, like and everything's so clear because it's not flat, it's round. So like
Yeah.
you're going through the mountains and you're looking to the side and you're like, oh, look at that little goat, or and you can see it
crazy.
so clear. But again, you're in like a basketball arena. You're at the Maryville, you're at the PMAC, or you're at a big basketball arena, and but everything around you is the same. So I would suggest do that if you're there. But then we had a show the next night. Sharice and I went and caught Old Vegas. She'd never been, so we did a sightseeing tour of all that. Very cool town, very expensive town, but glad to go for work. And now we've got a few more weeks off, and I've got a show New Year's Eve in Durango, Oklahoma, at the casino there for New Year's Eve, and then back off for a few weeks, and then on the road with Justin. We're going to go do some shows with Cody Johnson next year to start the year off, middle of January. So busy,
That'd be
not a
fun.
lot of break this year for me, but glad to have work. And
JR, what about
Yep.
that? You mentioned the other day something about the story from, let's go all the way back to Wayne Mills. There's something that happened
yeah.
while you're out in Vegas. So I want to hear.
Oh,
I wanna make
yeah.
sure you hit on that. Yeah. let's-
Yeah, true story.
yeah.
yeah,
This
so
is
at-
wild, y'all.
Yeah, right before the show happens in Vegas, I'm standing side stage, and somebody taps me on my shoulder, and I turn around, and this guy says, "Hey, JR, it's me from I hit you up on Instagram or Twitter, whatever it was." He said, "I was want to ask you, did you know Wayne Mills' cousins from Texas?" And I was like, "Yeah." He pointed to him, next to him, and there's Ronnie Mills, Wayne's cousin from Texas, who I haven't seen in at least 15 years or more. He's a twin, Ronnie and Donnie, some of Wayne's favorite cousins from Texas. We'd go visit when we were out there on his mom's side, and then they would come to Alabama for stuff and hang with us. So got to catch up with him, and it all happened because his friend was listening to the podcast we did with Taylor Hicks, and when Taylor mentioned that all musical roads in Alabama somehow lead back to Wayne Mills always, this guy asked his friend, he said, "Hey, isn't that your cousin? This guy's talking about your cousin on here. Do you know a guy named JR?" And he's like, "Yeah, I remember JR." So one thing led to another. They're Cowboys anyway. So they came to Vegas to surprise me, and there they were, and we got to reunite, and I got a picture with Ronnie, and he texted me yesterday, and it was magical. It really was. It was so
man.
cool to make the connection, and so cool of his buddy to listen to the show and then make the connection and make it happen. I'll say thanks to him for going the mile to make it happen.
Dude, that's so cool. That's so cool.
It's mind blowing that this little show that how we've evolved from, just Chad and I starting this out, just doing audio only and learning the ropes, turning it into more video all this year. Doing video, of course, the audio's there too. For those people that want to just listen to the audio, you're in the car, you don't have to watch us. You can just listen as well. And then now we're evolving into doing live streams. But to have that kind of a reach this over the course of time, I never really thought this would go anywhere except for Chad and I would just be entertained by ourselves and and start to tell some of our idiotic stories that we had together whenever we both were living basically neighbors, and just the fun that we've had over the years. And then, it just keeps evolving, and that's fun. That's what we want to do. We want to keep growing and keep going. So if y'all are listening, you hadn't hit the like button wherever you're watching this, do that, share it. Got to remember that we have to do these kind of reminders. I've been watching a lot of Wake Up Mincy here lately on Barstool, and so wake up. No. It's time to shake up.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds cool.
It's something, that's for sure. But look, man, I mean, that's awesome. JR, a night in Durango for New Year's Eve.
Sharice and
I'll get interesting.
Yeah, Sharice and I are going to fly to Dallas. They'll send somebody to get us, drive us up. It's about an hour and a half. We'll go in the night before, next day do the show, back to Dallas, fly home New Year's Day. Then I got about 2 weeks off, so might go down to Clearwater, visit my brother. Might I don't know. Might go over there to the Props with Blasey and have a beer and do a double remote from over there.
That's right. Let's do that. I think
we're going to do a show, a live show, all three of us in Props, from Props. Yes. That'll be fun.
Yes.
We need to do one at the brewery here too. We need to make find a brewery near you at TIGS, and we'll do the brewery tour.
There is one. I have one in mind.
And we'll give everybody a heads up. If anybody wants to make the trip and visit us, come to the show live, can do that.
There we go.
Absolutely. We've talked a little bit about doing a crawfish boil kind of thing. We're gonna have to see. We may have put the cart before the horse. That was before the drought.
Yeah. I've been getting some text on that. Everybody's like, well, I guess we're not eating crawfish this year. They're $35 a pound. Basically, or whatever.
I know, man. I know. I mean, hopefully we should this winter. We finally started to get some rain. So that would be amazing if we could if they would just come back to normal pricing. And we could do it at the Floribama like we talked about.
Right.
Blasey and I can have us a little crawfish off, and everybody wins. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens.
We'll just have to get a little pot from the stove and do a little crawfish boil. Like a little challenge.
Well, we got to show our fine sponsor, Boil Balls. We have to make sure that we show that off, show how it works, and make championship and competition level crawfish. So,
absolutely. But, if we have to pivot, if the crawfish prices don't come down to reasonable prices, we may just have to pivot into a shrimp boil or something, because we can still get shrimp from our local fisheries a lot, reasonable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot better deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
For sure. Well, that's Tales from the Road.
I'll have something better next time. I'm kind of.
That was great. That was awesome.
That was great. Yeah, it's good information. I didn't know he was playing in Durango, and it sounds like a good time. So if anybody's listening, you don't have tickets, go see Justin Moore in Durango. Sounds like a fun night.
I do have another Tales from the Road, but I'm going to tie it into something else we're going to bring up at another point in the show if we still talk about it, because I thought it was cool and it's a reference to your home state, and I think you'll like it and I like it. But if it comes up, I'll bring it up. If not, I won't.
Yeah. So, well, look, I've got a little bit of music news while we're still talking about music. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the band Goose. Or you may have heard of them, but don't know much about them, maybe.
Yep, that's about where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, that's probably most of the people that are watching this are at too. But I encourage you to check them out.
Yeah,
go to their website.
Right,
go to YouTube. Wherever they have great music. They're a jam band. They're kind of a little more funky they play long. They have some of those songs that are jam bandy where they go on a little bit too long, in my opinion. You know, I know that the jam
Most of those
band
bands
purists
do.
out there are.
Yeah.
But I don't need a 58-minute version of a damn song. Okay, I don't need it. But I appreciate, you know, like, hey, you may go. There may be something at the Sphere. Let's say that we go to the Sphere and we see Fish. There's somebody in that crowd that would be more than content to hear a 3-hour-long Fish song. Like we're coming out, we're gonna play one song tonight.
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
gonna be a 3-hour jam. Somebody
Fire-
would love it.
Yeah, Fire
I
on the
would
Mountain
not.
style.
Exactly.
Mountain Jam. You know, Mountain Jam was.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mountain
you know,
Jam.
that kind of started all that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, and look, it has its place for sure, and but the Goose does every year. They have a it's kind of like 311 has a 311 day. Goose has their deal, and it's called Goosemas. They do it in December, and they do a couple night show, and they go all in. This year was definitely their biggest. They played in Hampton Arena, played in front of about 10 or 12,000 people, full on arena concert. The lighting was incredible. The set lists were incredible. They had pyro. Like, it was a rock show,
Wow.
man. It was a rock show. Here's some of the covers that they did, just kind of like Widespread Panic does on New Year's Eve and on Halloween. Play a lot of covers, which Panic plays a lot of covers anyhow, but they play a lot more covers, more well-known covers.
Right.
Goose covered Mirrors by Justin Timberlake, which I hadn't heard that song in a long time, let alone to hear Goose rock it out. It was awesome. They did Jimi Hendrix Fire, full of course, pyro with that. Kicked
Nice.
ass. They did Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon. Unbelievable. One of my favorites that Panic does, and pretty much at any band will do, is Burning Down the House.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, they rocked that one out. I saw Panic do that in 2016 in Nashville. Man, it was the last song. It's what they closed with.
That's their influence.
Fantastic.
That was what they were all into. You know.
That's
was
right. And I
Georgia
see a
music.
lot of Panic in these set lists. I've listened to both nights too, but it's like, okay, they took a little bit from Widespread Panic, which is perfect. It's what you should do.
Well, Panic's first album, people don't realize, was in '88. Them guys have been having albums since '88. A lot of people think, you know, later on, but like they've been around for a long time. They were an influence on a lot of people, whether it's a direct influence or whether it was a passive influence. They've influenced a lot of bands.
My sister handed me a tape in 1989 of Widespread Panic because she used to go hang out with those guys when they were playing in tiny bars. I'm talking, there'd be 50, 60, 100 people in their tops.
Wow.
And she got to know JB. She got to know them all, and she was like, you got to listen to these guys. This was 1989. She was handing me Widespread Panic tapes.
Wow.
So, yeah, I got introduced to that early. I was still in Alabama. I hadn't even made it to college yet. And I was like,
oh,
what is
so cool.
this? You know? Yeah. So, super cool. Yep. But they've been around a minute.
Mm-hmm. They have it. Goose is carrying on the torch. There's a lot of
look who chimed in,
Mr. Paul out there.
Oh,
He
Paul
knows.
Halinga.
He knows. I love it, dude. I love
funky Paul Halinga. Love
My
it. What's
buddy
up, Paul?
My buddy John. I've shared some Goose with him. He likes it. John's a drummer.
Oh, very cool.
John's an amazing drummer, and so yeah, we always have fun and cut up, and I'm a little musical, but I can't do anything. I could never perform in front of anybody. Couldn't jam on here. I can jam with Johnny when nobody else is really watching and we're just having fun. But but yeah, dude, Goose, unbelievable. Their lead guitarist Rick, I don't know his last, I can't remember his last name, but the dude is just a killer.
You are a
killer.
Guitar hero. You're as good as they get, though, dude. I've seen you in concert.
Unbelievable.
Unreal. I've never seen anything like it. Yes.
Wow.
I've retired. Yeah, unfortunately, my son, Riley, he has no idea what his dad is capable of in a rock star environment. At one point in time, JR, when when I lived in Florida, my house would turn into a concert stage. We have also had live music in that house, but predominantly it turned into a rock band night. And I had the same speakers that I have out here in this studio will absolutely knock your socks off. You can get them to about 108 decibels. I've tried. Yeah, so I crank it up in that house, it would be at about 108 decibels.
That's everybody listening. That's like really above concert level. That's like what our concerts usually try to
Where
ride.
do y'all hone in for sound? Like in a sound, what is it?
That's
Where
about
does
that's
100.
close.
Does you not want it to go over 100, or you kind of lock it in at 100 or 105,
well,
110?
Depends on the room. A lot of times depends on what room you're in. That's all production team. I'll get Jeff on sometime to explain all that.
I would love
But-
to know if
but
they
there
put
are-
like a limiter or something that keeps it at a threshold so it won't go above that and stuff. You know, all that
there
technical stuff.
Yeah, there are certain situations when they do want us to keep it under 100 or 95 or 98, whatever the dB is. But I've been out there with Jeff, and normally it's tinging up there above 100 somewhere, 105, 108 somewhere.
I
in there.
want
It's
my
like-
concert loud.
yeah.
I mean, that's what the hell I'm
I
there
don't.
for.
I don't want to. I don't want to be in a certain spot where it's like unbearable, where you can't, where it's like hurting your head.
Yes.
You can't.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't even
yeah, yeah.
enjoy it.
Speakers right here next to you.
Yeah, you got to have it balanced, and that's the thing at a real nice concert compared to like a club. You can only do so much and change so at a concert. You can have flown, and now with the technology and the way they, layer things, that's why you can hear something when you have 100,000 people and the guy in the back's hearing the vocals the same as the guy on the third row. It's staged and tiered and networked together to where it's, you can really dial that in. But 108 in your house is rocking, Tiggs, no doubt.
Yeah, it is. I know my neighbors love me when that happens, but
I just downloaded. I saw Paul put up that Paul Halinga.
Yep.
And that's one of Blasey and I's fraternity brothers who's from Tauga County.
Okay.
But I know he's a big jam band guy, so he just posted I'm all over Goose. I just downloaded the Autumn's Crossing single. The 3 songs on there, and was looking through. Yeah, they're from Connecticut. Started in 14. I can't wait. I'm gonna jam this tonight. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Thanks
dude,
for the heads up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're gonna love it, dude. You're gonna love it. They're
I'm
great.
diving into it as well.
Man, they closed out that night though. Their second night was one of the best sets of any jam band that I've listened to this year. Panic has had a couple of over the top shows that were just ridiculous, especially if you're a Panic fan. But Goose, if you're a Goose fan, they went over the top too on this one. They started out the second set. I won't go into all of their craziness leading up to this, but they came basically they arrived at the jungle from outer space in their deal, and they jumped into like a jungle song that they do, and then led on into Run Through the Jungle by CCR, which was fantastic to hear a jam band version. I've never really heard a version of that. I'm sure Panic has done it. I've never heard them do it. Not since I've been jamming them. They rolled into Jungle Boogie with Kool and the Gang, and then I mean just they're rocking the house, and then boom, here the highlight of the whole deal for me. Bruce Hornsby walks on stage and sits down at the keys, and for about 3 minutes, it seemed, it may not have been that long, he's sitting there and he's just playing the intro to That's Just the Way It Is. Plays the whole, I mean, dude, it gives me chill bumps just thinking about it.
Awesome.
It was amazing. And then they covered it. They went back and forth on the vocals and all. It was all on YouTube, everybody. If you want to check it out, go to Goose Band, I think is their YouTube page after we're done with this, of course. And then and check it out. They have the Fire one. They have that up as well. They may even have mirrors now, but incredible music, incredible jam band. They do an amazing job with their social media and all of that. So yeah, I mean they're as good as it gets right now. I've never seen them live though. They're on my list. I will see them 2024. I will see them live. That's a fact.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna dive into that a little bit. I'm sure it's gonna be good.
Oh, it is.
That
It
set list
absolutely
was
is.
pretty dang amazing. So I'm sure they rock it well. I'll take your word for it, Brantley.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're going to segue over this part of the show. We're going to move over to sports a little bit, kind of talk about some things and over the weekend, late last week, we had just cut a show that we put out talking about football and everything like that, and then bam, Troy's head coach John Sumrall leaves to go to Tulane. So JR wasn't able to join us on that football show or on our emergency podcast because it literally happened. We didn't even have enough time to text you, JR. It was just, bam, we're doing it, and we're going live. We're going to do this right now and knock it out. But y'all's thoughts on it? I know I have a little video to show.
I'll tell you real quick, JR, and I definitely want to get your thoughts on this. But, so it was a big shocker last week, and it's one of those things that's like, man, I can't believe this is happening. This is our coach. It came out of nowhere a little bit. But then, there's this acceptance stage. There's stages of grief you kind of go through, a little bit of anger, But at the end of the day, I really am happy for John Summerall. Like, the guy deserves nothing but the best. And, like, if that's what he thinks is best for him and his family and his pocketbook, it's an $18 million deal he just signed. So he just tripled his income overnight. So I don't hate him for that at all. But I'll tell you what, so as a fan, though, I watched the Tulane press conference on Monday. I was like, okay, it's almost like going to a funeral, right? You got to go see it to believe it. Like, I got to see this dude wearing some green and blue before I really think this is real. And sure enough, dude, I watched his press conference, but I'm not going to lie to you, it was a little goofy, man. Like, not him. He brought some relevance to this thing. But first of all, and we'll show you the video here in a second, but here they come. Here's, the second line coming, and that was a very white second line coming in. I thought that was a little not very authentic. I'm like, well, that's not very representative of New Orleans and the city. And like, okay, that's a little weak.
Lot of different people in New Orleans. New Orleans is a big melting pot, and that's what makes it so special, no doubt.
Well, as you're about to see here in a second, that second line wasn't.
And then they had him with some goofy umbrella. Like doing, I get it. It's like, dude, this is your head coach. This is football.
Y'all, I got to see this. You kidding me?
When it gets to the stage, then it's like Pappy from Brother, Where Art Thou? Up there introducing the Soggy Bottom Boys. He's up there screaming a little bit. I was like, man, this is a clown show. Like, I'm really kind of like going, I can't believe this is my coach is involved in this right now. And to his credit, though, he got up here and kind of took command of the stage and the moment, had some cool things to say, talking about his staff at Troy, talking about how the fact that, hey, I'm not going to go pillage from that staff at all until after the bowl game. But no, he's going to keep everything in place. He wouldn't do that to those young men. They need to lead them through there. And then at the end, he declares that they're going to make the college football playoff and they're going to win the national championship. You know what? In the last part of that, I actually kind of believe the guy. You know what I mean? Because it sounds like Tulane's investing and doing what it takes. And dude, he's that good of a coach, but just play this thing, though. But the first part of it's so goofy.
Yeah,
I was so sad for him.
I'll save your comments for after.
All right, here we go.
This is New Orleans. You have to have a hug and a fist pump. Okay, so welcome everybody. It is wonderful to see everyone here.
Here's how this transition will happen for me. I'm here. My staff that's been at Troy, they will not leave until the bowl game is completed. No one there will accept a job here until the bowl game is over. It's their job to finish the mission with those young men there. And I'm not going to extend an offer to a new coach there. While that may hurt me in the short term here, I'll win out in the long term by doing it the right way. Our vision here is we're going to win conference championships. We're going to win bowl games. I'm telling you right now, I'm speaking into existence. We're going to make the college football playoff, and we're going to win it.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, I wish I'd have got to see the whole thing drawn out, but yeah, kind of a cheesy walk through, like a little hallway for the second line. It didn't look like that big of a crowd. And then, yeah, the guy before him, the speaker guy, come on, calm down, buddy. Well, I tell you what it is. They're so excited, but I thought they had a good coach. They've had good seasons. What? Their guy left?
Fritz,
yeah, Willie Fritz. He left. Yeah. He went to Houston.
There you go.
Yeah,
but no,
I didn't think. I'm thinking Troy and Tulane are on pretty level playing field nowadays. Now, Tulane was in the SEC, was a founding member of the SEC Southeastern Conference. So, historically, Tulane's got us by a mile. But in the modern world of football and college athletics and even, I would dare say even numbers, I doubt Tulane's a much bigger school than Troy. There's probably a lot of old New Orleans money and money invested in Tulane because of their alumni. But Troy's, I mean, we ain't broke either.
Yeah.
So I saw it more as a lateral move than a step up. But obviously, if we didn't match what they were offering, or he accepted over what if we tried to match and those kind of
he got a 300% raise overnight.
Yeah,
he went from $1 million a year to $3 million a year. And so, it is what it is, dude. They definitely can outspend us, and they did. And I think we counted what I heard was like 1.4, but that's still half that money.
Yeah.
And it's not just about money. It's like, hey,
right.
That's still, and they gave him 6-year contract. That's
that's nice.
$18 million and all guaranteed.
Right.
So,
and if you do like,
and you can
like,
win there.
Well, or you could get fired like Orgeron or what's Jimbo, and because I see your boy Jason saying Jimbo's got his plaque ready because Jimbo also said he was going to win. They said he was going to win a national championship.
Yeah, made him the plaque. Unbelievable.
He got the money.
No offense, JD Marsh, and Amber says to tell us hello. She's going to see Cody Canada tonight, and
nice.
And they're both Aggies. We're very inclusive here on TIGS Bits.
Big
regardless
fan of Cody.
Of y'all who personally know me away from here and what I say about all these other teams. But if you don't recognize the name Cody Canada, you might remember the band Cross Canadian Ragweed. That was his band back in the day, and I remember we used to run with those guys with Wayne Mills. How the 3 degrees separation from Wayne Mills always, but that'd be a good show, I bet. Yeah. Hell yeah, it would be. Well, look, we've got Maddie Hudak that follows us now on Twitter. She's does a podcast with Tulane. She's a reporter.
Oh, nice.
Down there. She's awesome. She's really good. Did y'all see that Carissa Thompson stuff with that podcast? She was on a podcast. I think she was on a Barstool one where she basically admitted to sometimes at halftime just making up the report that was
really?
Yeah, she wasn't always being
I just
truthful.
Come up with a halftime report. Yeah, I'll just say something.
Yeah, not a good look. Sideline reporters whatsoever, just terrible. That she would even admit
I spoke
that.
to Coach at halftime, and he said he's going to continue to. He's got to get the all this. It's like what? You didn't even speak to him because she couldn't get the interview, so she would just make stuff up.
Yeah, so she. It up. I mean, look, I get that. I'm sure that's happened. Whatever. You just don't say it. You just don't say that's what you do.
Exactly.
You just don't advertise it. Like no one would have ever known if you would have just kept your mouth shut. But anyhow, Maddie had a response to that, and I just remember seeing that a few weeks ago when all of that came out. It was extremely strong because she hustles. She's on top of it every day, and I started following her back then because I'm like, wow, she's getting it. She is hustling, and then she came out with that. She was dead on. I think one of her videos went viral, but yeah, just hopefully we can get her on at some point. And I would love, of course, we had Coach Sumrall on our show. It would be awesome to have him on at some point. Maybe we can get him back on and
have him back on again.
Her and all that stuff. I'd love to be able to continue that relationship because it was cool. And he's here in Louisiana. He's close.
Well, no, if you listen to his words, he'll tell you like his relationships with his players. It's not a transactional relationship, right? This is something that's going to last a lifetime. So I'm going to have to hold Coach accountable. I mean, our relationship too, with our interview and the times we spent with him, in the locker room. I think that has to continue as well, right? So
yep, his ops guy with his very short text. Oh yeah, same.
Smooth.
Yeah, with his very short replies there. Well, but I will say I'm happy for Coach as well. Coach looked like $1 million. I will say that he looked sharp. He must have went by split ends, let Michelle give him a pie cap high and tight before he went to go eat some food. He figured he better look sharp now because boy, he's about to get on them red beans and rice. He better get on the treadmill too while he's down there. But no, I'm happy for him. But I think Blasey, for us, we're a program now that's established enough and recognized enough, and we know the game now. We sure have the games played. I'm sure our donors and alumni are going to step up. Our next coach is going to take the torch and keep running with it.
We're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. We got a great AD there too, man. Probably the best AD we've ever had at Troy. Full faith in that guy. He's going to get this right, and it's going to happen quick. So, hey, everybody, just relax. In Trojan Nation, things will be just fine. I promise.
a lot of respect for John Sumrall for coming out and look. I'm not tampering, if you want to use that word. He's not going to tamper with the coaches that are there at Troy. Now, do some of them end up at Tulane? I highly expect some of them do. They're going to.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but for him to not tamper that and knowing this time of year what's going on with recruiting and things like that, some of those would be helpful answers. You know, for some of these recruits that are at home, but respectful for what he's doing to the Troy community. He's not leaving, burning down the house, you know, setting it on fire and getting out of town. I think he left it better than it was when he got there, which it was good when he got there.
Absolutely.
You know, he left it even better, and whoever the next guy is, next man up, they're going to inherit a good squad. And be able to work from that. So you know, we alluded to that.
If the AD would
when we
ask
did our
me, I've
football
actually got a
show.
full plan where we could stabilize everything. We could actually defend off Summerall coming after poaching. I got a full plan that wouldn't cost really any more money. You know, you just make the offensive coordinator Craddock head coach. You make our defensive coordinator Gasparotto. Let's make Coach Gas. He's the defensive coordinator still. Make him assistant head coach. Bump up his pay. Right, because Shield Wood, who was with Summerall at Troy before, is already at Tulane, so he didn't need a coordinator over there unless he's going to run off Shield. So we keep our offensive coordinator and our defensive coordinator, and then you double Rusty Witt, our strength and conditioning coach's pay. Dude, you do that, and you're golden, and you keep everything the same, and the ship keeps rolling. That's my opinion. I'll hush. So that's the Trojan fan talking. Yeah. It's that easy.
Somebody clip that off and send it to the coaching staff and the AD at Troy. I mean, that's legit. I mean, it's worth a shot. I'm sure they're having conversations similar. I mean, I'm sure everything's on the table right now, you know.
Yes.
But sometimes thinking outside the box like that, you know, might be the correct way, you know.
That's it.
I like it.
Yep. Y'all, did y'all see that offsides drama with
Yes. Man, I never seen Patrick Mahomes that mad in my life.
I've never seen him that mad either. It wasn't a good look for him, I can tell you that.
Well, and they do that a lot. I've seen that several times with the new way they play ball and the way they Blasey for AD. I love it. Yeah, got my vote too. The way they run these sets now, and the way they do the pre-snap changes on offense and defense to ride the line on the legalities of the rules. To where if you jump here and this guy jumps now, I can flinch this far, but I can't flinch that far. I can move. He's not offsides because they were both in motion, or the line. All those things is so complicated to me. I understand what it is, but it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But lining up over top of the ball, you just can't line up over top of the ball. I don't know how. And I've seen that. That's not the first time I've seen that in the past month or so. Even I've seen other pro teams do similar lining up. Cost them a third and short, now a third and long, things like that. And I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
Plain as day. No, I don't know what he's mad about. He's mad at his guy. Line up on sides.
Yeah, you get mad at him. He was definitely offsides. There's no doubt.
That's season frustration. That is a lot of drop passes this year. That is just like it all just happened to him. They haven't struggled this much in a long time. You know what I mean? So I just think it just all came to a head for him. You know, like
missing Tyreek Hill.
Yes, my God. Why they get rid of him? That is the dumbest thing ever.
Well, you heard Tyreek Hill said.
Taylor Swift may have something to do with this.
Absolutely not. Because Tyreek
we love
Hill,
Taylor Swift at TIGS Bits, for the record.
Yeah,
Swifties.
Don't want the Swifties.
No, go Taylor.
No, but she don't help with football. She's a great entertainer. Sells a lot of T-shirts and albums. But no, the Tyreek Hill said that he didn't want to be the second girl. You know, he said he got there and Mahomes already had buddied up with Kelsey, and he said, you know, when he would take Tyreek Hill out to dinner, they go to like the barbecue joint, and he's like, man, I want to go to the nice place you took Travis. You and Travis are playing video games, hanging out. He said, I was never nobody's second gal, you know, so that was kind of, he was out. So I guess it's ride or die with him. But, yeah, I agree with you, Blasey. I think that's just overall frustration. I also double down on what you said, Tiggs. It's a terrible look for a classy guy like him.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Not near – and out of character. Out of character.
Office.
And then back to Coach, how classy he looked. You know, the two spectrums there. There's two ways to do it. You know, but it's frustration.
A bad look for Kansas City. You know, in a game, Buffalo had to win that one. and they did. You know they're going to play again. They may
Right.
play again anyhow in the regular season. I don't know. I don't think they do, but they I haven't looked at the schedules, but they will most likely play in the playoffs at some
Right.
point.
Right.
And so they'll you know who's going to win that one most
Oh, yeah.
likely.
Oh yeah,
But,
throw a pass off his butt.
Yeah, but man, that was crazy. Last night's games were nuts. Both of them were good. I didn't see them. I just saw some highlights. Miami apparently just shit the bed for lack of a better term.
I know I lost.
mean,
I lost by 20 points in my keeper league because Tua turned in 9 points yesterday, and I've got Lamar Jackson with 63 points on my bench. That would have more than been enough to win me the game.
Oh, that
But
sucks.
I haven't watched any sports all weekend since last Monday or Tuesday. I was even in Vegas while the Pelicans dropped the ball against LeBron James and the Lakers in the semifinals of the in-season tournament. I mean, they got beat by the most points I don't know if they've ever been beat by 60 points or whatever it was. Just got annihilated. Yeah, and then but LeBron was on a mission because after that, Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers, he's done some things that no one has ever done. He's had 3 or 4 games this season where he's had 25 points, 15 assists, and 0 turnovers. Combined, 4 players have ever done that total, and he's done it 3 times this year. But
Wow.
LeBron was on a mission, and his Lakers are the first time ever, and it makes sense. The Lakers have to be the first champion of the new thing we have.
Sure.
But, bravo to LeBron, a 40-year-old, 20-year veteran, MVP of the in-season tournament. I mean, you can hate on LeBron, and I have, and he's never been my guy. But you cannot deny the talent and perseverance of somebody like that because most guys you can't make it in your early 30s, much less to your 40.
Right.
Even competing well enough to stay in the game, much less being the MVP.
He's the MVP, and he's the oldest guy in the league right now, right?
He's close to it. He's top 5. Yeah, he's top couple.
I think he's right there, and he's still playing at that level. It's
at that
insane,
level,
dude. His minutes levels have been crazy because this tournament was really important to him. He wanted to win this thing.
He wanted to 100%, and that's why he spanked him. And I didn't get to watch the game, but I watched the highlights. Herb Jones from Alabama, fantastic ball player, played at Alabama, All-American or All-SEC defensive player, All-SEC guy. A lot of playing time for the Pelicans, starting play, and he's their D and stretch D guy. He can D anybody up. LeBron abused him. I mean, and what he can do. LeBron's got size on him. Herb usually can play up or play down. LeBron just took it to him. I mean, he's always been bigger, stronger, and faster than everyone. And
he's an animal, man. I finally got to watch him live last year. I took my son, took Riley. We went. And we were in the upper deck. We didn't even have a good seat.
Right.
But he's just he's huge, man. He had a good game. He didn't have a great game. It was the night before he broke the record. I think he broke the all-time scoring record. Maybe 2 games later, but he needed something like 68 points or something that night. And I'm like, hey, you never know, Jordan. You never know.
The only time I ever saw LeBron play, I went to another game. He was with the Cavs, but it was later in the season, and he didn't play. It was because playoffs or whatever. But his second or third year in the league, I was in Utah, and Grice and Brad Matthews, my friend who lived out there at the time, we went and saw him play the Utah Jazz. Second or third year in the league, and he had like 58 points that night, and I thought there's nobody, and he's almost a rookie. It might have even been his rookie year, but they couldn't do anything with him, and the Jazz still had like Malone and Stockton, and he dropped 58. He could shoot from anywhere. He would take 1 or 2 dribbles in the 3-point line and make a move to the rim, and no one could do anything. I thought we're going to be all over TV. This guy just scored 58, 60, whatever points it was. Same night, Kobe scored like 72 or something. So they never even showed LeBron's 60-something. But I knew then. I was like, this guy's special, you know. But again, like I said, Grant Hill was that good. But then you get your knee hurt or your hip hurt or your elbow or your back, you're never the same player sometimes. LeBron to be able to stay away from injury and in the modern times stay out of controversy. You never hear about LeBron at a club with a pistol, smoking dope in his car, fighting with his wife, you know, anything with his illegitimate kids. He don't have none of that. He's a straight up guy, an entrepreneur and a good community guy when it sounds like. So I'm Team LeBron now. I'm happy for him. I still think Jordan's the best ball player of all time, and Hakeem's the best big. But it's impressive that he did that, and he destroyed our Pelicans, unfortunately. But we're doing pretty good. We're going to be okay if Zion stays healthy and we keep our core together healthy. We're going to go deep into the season.
I think so, too. The one thing, though, that I hope next year, I kind of like the in-season tournaments. A little hard to understand. You know, they need to simplify it a little bit. I don't either, but they need to. That's why I think they need to simplify it. Yeah, I could understand if I looked at it big time. But one thing I do understand, the courts are terrible.
Terrible.
They're hard to.
Terrible.
I mean, they're hard to look. The jerseys are cool.
Terrible.
But the courts are hard. They're hard to. I can't watch the game, man. They hurt my eyes.
Exactly.
Am I just getting old?
No, same here. It's harsh. You can't. It's no definition. It doesn't look like a basketball court. It looks like a video game, and and that's what they're going for. But it's too much.
It is too. I mean, you add that with the sneaker sounds.
That's what I was going to say.
Way too much.
You're like, which one's worse? Which one's worse?
I watch very little of it. Hockey's in dude. I'm a big NHL guy now.
Yeah.
So the Lightning are playing. Dude, when that kicks in, I really
go to that.
Basketball now has become such a secondary thing. It's cool. I'll still watch the highlights. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'd much rather watch the Lightning play than watch a basketball game and listen to that.
Yeah. We go, speaking of airplanes, we go to the Ice Flyers games from time to time in Pensacola. Those are fun.
Yeah.
I need to come meet y'all over there. I'd love to do that, dude.
My neighbors down here have season
We
tickets.
have one in Baton Rouge now, the Zydeco's.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Baton Rouge
That's
Zydeco's.
awesome.
I haven't
it's
gone
fun.
yet, but we're going within the next 2 weeks. You know, Christmas break coming up, and actually, no, they're out of town until after the New Year because they use the ice rink for Christmas skating and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
hockey
they're making
games
like
are-
a 2-month tour to the Northeast or something.
Oh yeah.
That
2 weeks
doesn't
stand.
sound like a lot of fun.
There's somebody else that does. Who else is there's somebody else that does that leaves for 2 weeks because is it the Knicks or somebody that has to leave for 2 weeks and does a road trip every year because
they had to use Madison Square Garden or something.
There's some team somewhere. I just remember thinking about that because they have to get it's for the Rockettes or something like that. I don't remember, but I tell you, hockey games. I've never been to hockey games until Nashville when the Predators first got there, and it turned me around because we don't have hockey here. I've never been ice skating. We don't. I don't have no ice. But
I don't have no
I'm
ice.
never going to try it.
and I went to a
Fresh out.
school, and I went to when I went to high school, y'all, we didn't even have soccer. You know what I'm saying? Our girls were still slow pitch, underhand softball. I mean, I went to a tiny high school with none of these sports and no swim team, none of that. So I never even knew anybody played hockey until then. But when I first started going to those Predators games, man, that was so much fun. That's an electric atmosphere. It's a party. And since then, I've been to several different towns and seen hockey. I've been to the Tampa games down there once or twice. Man, hockey is fun games to go to. They're really fun, and I feel like I can learn enough of the rules fast enough to be into the game. To whereas like soccer, I'm still having a hard time knowing the rules.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I got into same thing, dude. I grew up in Alabama. We had basketball, baseball, football, and I challenged to get a golf team and a tennis team, but other than that, we didn't have anything, and so. Dude, I moved down to Tampa, started going to those Lightning games, and that's when I fell in love with hockey because I'd seen it. I'd even watching ESPN before. I'd kind of get bored with those highlights, whatever. Show me a one-timer, that was kind of cool, or a fight, But, dude, when you start to understand that game and you go see it live, and, dude, it's the best live sporting event, period. And that includes football, and I'm passionate about football, love football.
Yeah.
And, dude, I think there's nothing better, especially playoff hockey. Dude, I mean, that'll almost kill you. You have to walk outside of that arena to get your breath because it's like 4th and goal the entire
all the time.
game. Yes, man, it's wild. Yeah. next level.
I
So,
love
yeah.
it.
Anyway,
We'll have
Yeah.
to do that.
little,
Yeah.
little
TIGS
hockey
Bits
tangent.
road trip to a
Yes.
hockey game. I've never been to a pro hockey game.
Oh God!
So I would,
Especially
I would
playoff
love to
hockey.
go. I mean, I watch them and the music, the crowd's nuts.
And they have it's a
Yeah.
party atmosphere. Everybody's drinking, everybody's partying. It's a rowdy thing, but it's not like football where everybody's fighting and stuff.
Right.
You know, it's more just rowdiness. I mean, I'm sure they do.
Unless the
And
Bruins
entertainment.
fans-
Yeah, in between the periods. And I remember even one time I booked Southern Hauler. We played in between periods at a Predators game up on the balcony thing there. Like
dude,
that's
that's
where I
great.
first. That's actually one of the first times I ran into Sparky. I think when we reconnected with Bonner and Sparky was when I booked Southern Hauler to play. Sparky's there with some clients or something. He was working with some friends or something. He comes down, we reconnect. He had just moved back from Kentucky, this and that. But yeah, I think they paid us $600 or $800 to play for like 3 songs at the end of the thing for,
Hey, yeah.
between periods. You know me, I'll book us anywhere. Was it paid?
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, dude, I got to go to a pro hockey game. I've got to go to one. Paul's a Maples fan, he says out there, and John Melvin Miller says that the penalty, and he said what does he say here?
Oh yeah. The,
Hey,
power
the penalty
play,
and the
dude.
power play aspect
yeah,
makes
that 2
hockey
minutes is
very
great.
interesting, and it does.
It's it. It's like that too. When those power plays happen, either if it's your team on the power play, let's score. If it's your team on the defense, let's get a kill. You know what I
Because
mean?
you're
So it's
down
of the
one
two.
man, right?
Yes, and it's super intense. So it's 5-on-4, or it could be 4-on-3, or 5-on-3.
Right.
I mean, it could be a variation of that.
Yeah.
But usually it's 5-on-4, and so yeah, you're trying to get the penalty kill, or you're trying to get the goal, right? So it's like, man, it's so cool when those power plays happen. He's right, and I figured that's why Paul post those awful pictures of me, because I was a Lightning fan and he's a Maple Leafs fan.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's probably. Hey, he had a better picture of you this week. I saw
did.
it. Yeah.
I do
Where is
appreciate
Maple Leafs? Is that Toronto?
Yeah.
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 I've been to Toronto
got
and
a
I've been
great
to
team.
Tampa.
got a great
I'll
team.
take Tampa all day.
It gets cold in Toronto.
Toronto's like a little New York, just up north or farther and colder. Yeah, I'm good.
For
that's great,
sure.
man.
Well, look, we didn't touch on this. We're going to talk on it briefly just because JR's in here. So we have a room full of champions and winners in some form or fashion. Of course, Blasey and the Troy Trojans winning the Sun Belt Conference. The Crimson Tide winning the SEC championship. And what does that say?
Love that. Is that 1987?
Oh, yeah, that's that bottle you showed us. Yeah. That,
84.
Amazing.
84.
That's amazing.
Oh, guess who our first victim that year was? Nickel State.
Nickel State.
Love it.
And then me over here, didn't have a lot to cheer about a whole lot during the regular season, except for one of the best offenses I've ever seen. But as predicted on the show, boldly, and at the time didn't realize how much I was completely setting myself up for a Blasey-like situation with his coach. But we did. My boy Jaden Daniels did win the Heisman, so at least
Yes,
we
he
got
did.
that. So everybody on the show won
Congratulations, man.
something
Absolutely.
this year. We
Yes,
all
we
got a
did.
trophy.
Absolutely.
We did. Net,
Yeah.
net, positive year for all of us.
It was.
In some form or fashion. Yeah.
It was. But did y'all see? And we'll end kind of talking about sports here. But did y'all have a chance to see Shohei Ohtani's deal with the Dodgers?
Oh, my gosh.
$700 million. But what I find interesting about it is that $680 million of it's deferred.
Yes, he's gonna get $2 million a year until
For the rest of his life.
2034, and
Yeah.
then at 2034 he gets the $68 million a year for 10 years.
Yeah. Now, I
So
don't
that-
know. I mean, he's expecting to live 20 years, which he should, but I don't know if he understands how things work.
Well,
I'm a little
That's-
concerned
Well,
for him, to be
He's
honest.
gonna make $45 million a year in endorsements. He's gonna be fine. He's
Oh, he's
set
gonna
up
be
a
fine no matter
heck of
what.
a retirement package.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean? I mean,
You
it
know-
makes Bonilla look like nothing, even though that's an awesome
Yeah.
deal too.
well, yeah, I was going to say Bobby Bonilla. I thought it was Frank Thomas. Does he have was Bobby Bonilla that has
was
one?
Bonilla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bobby
Yeah.
Bonilla Day. Yeah.
When
He
with
gets
the
$1 million
Mets.
a year forever, huh?
For a long time.
For a very long time. He got it again this year. I know that. I remember.
That's insane.
It's
It
sometime
is.
in
Well, then-
June.
He hadn't played 30 years.
Nope.
Shohei's just going to get him a $68 million one starting in 2034. I mean, that's just wow. It's unbelievable.
Well, what does that do to that team? What if that team falters? They can't pay. I mean,
They don't do
what
jack to them for a decade. They don't care about that. There's only $2 million coming out of there right now.
But
That's what I'm saying.
they have to
What
put that
happens
money
to him
in
in
an
10
account.
years? I'd be a little worried if I were him.
That,
And what
that
is-
money has to go into an account, and it has to be into a what do you call that in an
trust or something?
Like a trust.
Yeah, it's, anyway, like when you buy a house, it goes into there's a term
Escrow
for that.
type thing?
Yes, it's going into an escrow account. So they're going to have to protect that money. I think they had to put like at least $45 million a year in, like to guarantee a certain percentage of that, even if they just went bankrupt or something.
Right.
His money will be there, each year. So
Oh man, yeah, that's
Crazy deal.
It really is. And what in the team? What does it do then? So then you need to go get a star 15, 20 years from now, and you're over the cap because you're paying dude from 20 years ago.
and I don't understand how that
know what I mean?
impacts
How-
them.
Yep.
That's where my knowledge is gone. Like so.
Yeah, Jason
know, but
Hilton
somehow
says
they
that the
defer it.
Mets agreed to pay Benelia back $29.8 million over 35 years. It's crazy.
It is
Unbelievable.
especially at the time in baseball. So
I know.
Unbelievable. Well, look, we're kind of we've been going for a little while. We're kind of we're at a point of the show where we'll just kind of open it up to the phone lines. We don't have any phone lines, but if we did, this is where we would do it. But look, if any of you guys that are still hanging out with us, if you have any questions or anything that you want to ask us, now's a good time.
hey, I got to give props real quick to my old neighbor, real fast, Brantley. Stephen.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes,
my
yes,
next door
yes.
neighbor. We talk about cooking all the time. He's a big grilling guy. He went to New York, took his wife up there for her 40th birthday, and he asked me like, "What should I do?" And I'm like, "Man, I've been there to the city. I'll be honest with you, I love the hot dog vendor, so that's probably not what most people want to hear, but that's kind of what I did. You do the Statue of Liberty, do all that other stuff. But his wife really wanted to go to the Today Show. So yesterday morning they get up 4:30. They're out there. It's raining. It's cold. They get selected to go inside, and they do some kind of a show in their little game they play. Dude, they win a trip to Australia for 6 days.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah.
congratulations
Heck
to Stephen
yeah.
and his wife Sarah. So that's so cool, dude. He
Yeah,
he
we've
sent me
got
that
a
and-
video of this. Check
Oh,
this
oh.
out. Yeah. Let's check this out, everybody. We won't watch the whole thing, but just watch him win. It's good.
He's a hell.
Could you guys come over here, please? Good job. Yeah, sorry, guys. We get going. Glenn and Sydney, do you guys have something that you want to tell them? Oh, yes.
We shot this movie entirely in Australia. It's one of the most beautiful places we've ever been.
So, guess what? You guys are going to Australia. Qantas Airways and Destination New South Wales, along with Sony Pictures, the studio behind Anyone But You.
Dude, that's so
Awesome. That's very
Unbelievable.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
congratulations.
they're big Green Bay fans too, so they had their Green Bay gear on. But yeah, they got selected to go in there randomly, and so he was. And whoever that actor and actress is, I don't know them, but they said they all they got along great, and
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Who were those people?
it's some movie. It's some movie coming out, and they shot it in Australia, and I don't know the name of the movie, so I wish I
very
had that
cool.
info. This
I'm
all
sure
I just
we'll-
found this out this afternoon, so
Yeah,
just
I'm
before I
sure
came
it'll
in here, I
pop
was
up.
texting him. Yeah.
We'll be able to figure out what movie that is. Maybe we can pinpoint it. It's a cool movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. Congrats. You never know. That was. I'm glad you brought that up too, because that was my other Tales from the Road I wanted to bring up since you prepped that on the text earlier. I've been to the Day Show a few times with Justin. We've played it several times over the years, and
Oh, cool.
I remember last time we were there, I had my Saints hat on, and the first time, I barely even remember being there the first time or two, to be honest with you, because it's at 5:30 in the morning, and we fly in, So the last time I remember more than the previous ones, but I had my Saints hat on, and I'm standing there. We're getting in. I hadn't seen any of the people yet, Hoda, Jenner, any of them yet. But as I'm getting Justin ready, I stand back, and they come up and saying hello to everybody, meeting everybody. Hoda runs right up to me, pointing at my hat. Who dat? Who dat?
Oh, yeah.
Because she was
Yeah,
New
man,
Orleans
she's New Orleans,
television anchor and from down there and stuff. So, was there for a long time, so she and I caught up for a while. Jenna's super cool, one of my favorites. I'm such a big fan of their family, and they've always been super cool. But on that show that day with us was an icon, and I've gotten to meet a lot of people, and sometimes it's like this. It's just a quick little thing, but it was Tony Bennett. That day he was there.
Wow.
Yeah, Tony Bennett was there. So we got to sit and talk with him backstage for a few minutes, and he was just smiling and happy. And this was only maybe a year or so before he passed, but super cool to hang out with Tony Bennett that day. And love Hoda and Jenna. Watch them every morning, and they in real life they are as cool, like when the cameras are off, as they act on TV. So it's awesome, your friends, to do that. And that those people out there, there's always a ton of people out there. It just always is. And for them to get selected, that's very cool, because there's always a ton of people out there.
Yes, it is. It is. And then win that dang trip, man. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
thousands
you
of
and I are gonna
dollars
get to go down under. I hope Sarah's okay with you, like, taking me down there. So,
Yeah, I think she would be. She
will
sure
be.
didn't seem like she was very excited.
She didn't want to go. Nah, she don't like that.
He responded and said, "I just hope she takes me with her."
Yeah, right. And
sure.
Fun fact, that studio, man, it looked huge where they were standing. That place is as big as my studio. It's all a play on cameras.
Just like your little corner, like
Yep,
or the whole
the whole room. I mean, that's
how big the whole place is.
Yeah, they have one section over here where the band plays, a lot smaller than you think. Then, the camera pans just a little. That's their sit-down place. Pan just a little. That's that place where your friends were. There's one little section over here where they do the setups for the food and thing. But it's all just barely apart from each other.
So it's not like Props Brewery here, huh?
No, it's not near that expansive. No.
Man,
It's in a huge. It's at Rockefeller Center, so it's in the huge thing. You have to go up and get your security clearance and blah 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 blah.
I took a tour of Rockefeller Center and got to see, kind of walk where the audience sits at Saturday Night Live, looking down on 8H or whatever it is.
Neat.
Very small. Everything exactly like it's so much smaller than you would think.
Right. Mm-hmm. I
went to the Conan O'Brien show. This was in, I think, 97 or 98, somewhere in there, and it was hilarious. But a little bigger of a room there. It was a little bigger than I thought it would be, because my parents they saw Johnny Carson, if I remember this right, back in the 80s. They got to go to the studio. Maybe they didn't see the show, but they got to go on to Burbank and see the studio, and that was their takeaway, is just how small of an area that really it is. You know, it's magic. It's camera magic.
Camera magic for sure.
Yeah, that's it. Speaking of camera magic, this would probably be a good time in the show, while there's still a little bit of light outside, and kind of start to wind this down. I think we need to give Props Brewery a little bit of props, and let's
I'll tell you what we could do to close the show, and I'm not sure how this is going to go when I unplug from this headphone.
But everybody, we went a long time, Blasey, today with
so if
going
it all
good.
Just collapses right now, everything's
it's
good,
fine,
right?
It's fine.
Okay, so I think I'm going to do a little walking tour, if that's good with y'all. I'm going to unplug. We're going to do a little walking tour, and I'm going to let you check this place out. Yeah,
let's do that. Let's do that. But yeah, man, I'll mute him while he's doing all of that. But
this is great.
Oh yeah,
I love this new format, and I want to say first thing, and I wanted to mention this during the show. I'm glad we got a second. And I know I ramble random things, but that's my bag. When I asked, were you in the Christmas season yet, during our Thanksgiving episode, on our old format in Riverside, I only got this slender view of all of us, right?
Oh, couldn't see.
I didn't see your
screen.
No. So when you said that, I'm like, well, it looks like the
makes
normal.
Sense. Yeah.
Well, when I went back and watched the show, because if I don't. Hopefully everybody watches our show on YouTube. I take those shows and put them on my JR the Handler page as well, on my playlist, so you can find them on mine or the TIGS Bits. So I watched a little of the show, and I said, oh, hell, I didn't see his Santa Claus TIGS Bits thing. No wonder he's like, yeah, I'm in the spirit. I got the thing right here. So
it makes sense.
I like the new format because we can see everything. And like this, we're seeing a wide shot of Props now.
Yes, we are. We are.
And
right here we got
we got
Joe
for a second.
The general manager right here. There's Joe, the GM. We got the whole staff here. Let's all have everybody saying hello. Hello.
Going.
What's up?
Welcome to the show.
Centrally located.
Got the
Local
honors
guy.
here.
Nice,
Got Nate
very
here.
nice.
What's up, Nate?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good, brother.
Big fellas.
Yeah. So yeah,
Beautiful
we got
brewery.
this whole
Beautiful.
place. It's gorgeous in here, dude. Absolutely gorgeous in this place.
It
So-
3
is.
times bigger
And
than my
dude-
brewery.
And this is I don't know if you can see this. Hold on, I'm gonna walk out
Let me
here real
see
quick.
if I can.
Can you see me?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we can. I'm trying to get you
Okay.
a little bit bigger.
Well, I'm gonna try
here
to show you. There's
somehow.
a P-51 Mustang fighter plane.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
We're out of his range now. He got too far
Yep.
from the.
Here,
He
and
got
there's
out.
their keg Christmas tree.
Yeah, we did this yesterday.
I'm
Took
losing
a
you?
little test run. Yeah, a little bit, but you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, just thought I'd show you. And then
Yeah.
and then you go out there. Then there's all the food trucks. We got just a multitude of food trucks out here
okay.
tonight. Tonight's the taco truck that's running. They got something else down there. I think that's a curry in a hurry truck that's down there tonight. So yeah, there's the
Wow.
food truck options, dude. So yeah.
Nope.
Well,
He'll pop back in. Yeah, that is the range at Hammock Bay and on the Wi-Fi. I mean, it's a tight perimeter. There's zero
yeah, I
cell
bet.
service out there.
oh, I bet.
None.
But
none.
man, what a beautiful brewery! I can't wait to go check that place out. I wish
No
we had
joke.
the food truck selections like he has too. We have one, and our brewery actually just sold there, so we don't have any food trucks at our brewery anymore.
Right.
There he
right.
is.
There he
Yeah,
is.
I'm
We
back.
got
I'm
you
back. See, I knew that was going to happen. That's why I wanted to save it till the very end.
Nope.
And yeah,
Oh,
man.
that's fine.
What else you guys got, man? I just wanted to give you a quick little tour there and
No,
show
it
you
looked
around.
great. Yeah, you
John
can see it well.
John
It was great.
John M says that Blasey was just abducted by an alien. That's exactly what happened. He's back. Hopefully, he wasn't probed
Oh,
too
the
much.
Fukush-
Nah,
but
I
that-
wouldn't probe
save
too-
that for next
too
week's
hard.
show, I guess.
It wasn't too bad.
Hey, speaking of that, y'all got to watch that show Encounters, the 4-episode thing on Netflix I was talking about.
Yes,
I've been
yes,
watching
yes.
it.
I've watched
Have
it.
you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Wow.
I just
We will
finished
discuss
the
next time.
Fukushima lights, and now we know why they never discuss nuclear, or they don't discuss aliens prior to 1930, because that's when we started nuclear stuff.
Correct.
Ain't that wild?
That
Huh.
is
It is
very
wild,
wild.
man.
It's
It's very wild.
crazy stuff.
Yeah, but
And
I
we're
want
gonna-
to. I was
We'll
going to say
dive deeper into that.
We definitely need to, and thanks to everybody who came on and listened and participated in the show today. It's going to be
Yes.
more like we've done today, but even better, because this was a test run, and we're just going to
Yeah.
get better with this thing and get on some
Absolutely.
wild topics and some wild adventures here. But thanks to Props for letting Blasey come sit in there today. What a beautiful brewery! If you're down
Great
in
place.
that part of the country, make a stop by there and get a beer. I know I'm going to
Absolutely.
soon.
For
Absolutely
sure,
gorgeous.
for sure. Yeah, we're going to dive in next time. A little breaking news here at the end of the show. Blasey did secure a conversation with that owner, Joe, who says that we should be doing this more often. So we will definitely be coming back live from Props in
1,000%.
some form or fashion, and
And
hopefully
they
can
even
talk
got
a
me a
little
little
beer
studio
with
set up
them.
in this little room here. Look at this.
Yeah,
Perfect
you
little
do.
room. Look at that.
Perfect.
Perfect.
You were going next thing you know, you're going to be back in that little room brewing us up a little TIGS Bits brew
Absolutely, I am.
from our fine folks there. Yeah,
Oh.
you're just putting it out in the universe. I like hazy, double hazy. But
That's it.
from what I understand, beer makers, brewmasters, they do not like that term double IPA. It's an offensive term. That's a whole nother show. I have some guests that I want to have come on if we're going to get in and start talking about beer. Tell us about this Regulars Club here, Blasey.
Oh, I'll tell you about that Regulars Club. I have number 24 cash money on the board, too. And that is, those that are regulars. And once you achieve that status, the good news is you get a little bit larger glass when you come in. So
Awesome.
That's a big deal.
they do appreciate your patronage here.
That's very cool.
Yes,
Kind of like
that's
the
fantastic.
saucers at the Flying Saucer. If you drink all the beers, you get a saucer on the wall at the Flying Saucer.
That's
It's
it.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, well, great. Well, look, we're going to call it a show. Everybody appreciate everybody tuning in. We've had several people in here the whole show. Thank y'all so much. Way more than we were expecting, for sure. So I'm calling this a success. We definitely will be doing this again, like we've said, and going live a little bit more often. Whenever there's something, something that's happening out there that we see, that we have something that we want to talk about, we're just going to hop into the live and go for it. And whoever
Absolutely.
can join us, and we're gonna start cranking this thing up a little bit more. So, gentlemen, thank y'all. Thank you, Props, and Paul, John, Jason, everybody else, all of y'all. Thank you all so much.
Yes.
For stopping by, and
make
if you
sure
haven't
to
liked this yet, make sure you
Yeah.
like it. If you're watching
Yep.
this still on Facebook or watching it on YouTube, give it a like, subscribe, or follow us. Do all of that stuff, and
that way you'll know when we go
see you.
live again, because Tiggs will
That's
make
it.
sure to give you a heads up. That way y'all can
That's
jump in
exactly
and
right.
chit-chat with us. Looking forward
That's
to it.
right.
Thank y'all. Appreciate
All
y'all.
right.
Drink one
See
for me,
y'all.
Blasey.
See you, buddy.
All right, brother.
See y'all.
I got you. See y'all.
All right, boys. See y'all soon. Roll damn
Later.
Tide.
Go Tigers!
Go Trojans.